Well, another full roster of sporting action is upon us, and so to chat about everything, we have invited journalist and analyst Khanyiso Tshwaku to give us some context into some of these stories. Khanyiso, it's great to have you with us. Let's start off with what's happening with SAFA, the woes. I mean, people were lamenting it on X. People are frustrated as well. What are your thoughts in terms of the parliamentary sitting, and what's transpired since?
Good morning, good morning, Stacey. Good morning to the viewers. I think it's very good to see that there has been a questioning of how SAFA have been handling their finances, have been handling their business. Some of the questioning from the MPs does leave a lot to be desired, but I think what they did find out was how bad things are at SAFA, and I think a missed opportunity was to find out how are SAFA going to actually fix their current mess. So I think it was good for that SAFA were made to account in front of the Parliamentary Sports Portfolio Committee. But I think the part of finding a way forward was probably the one opportunity missed.
I mean, we're speaking about dire financial concerns, but also, I mean, even if we look at the upcoming international friendlies and COSAFA Cup fixtures, it just paints a severe juxtaposition about what's happening on the field and off the field, and how that then would impact what's happening in the teams.
It's one of the oddities of South African sport where you'd find that a team is performing well, yet off the field, the administration isn't quite where it's supposed to be. I mean, if you look at where Bafana Bafana are on the cusp of qualifying for the World Cup, yet they have a team manager who bungled Tebogo Mokwena's suspension ahead of that Lesotho game where Tebogo should have played, and SAFA was still evasive about that. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing to hear that a national under-20 side had to travel by bus to Mozambique to play in the tournament. I mean, one needs to think about the wellness and the safety of the players. I can understand if they need to travel to a place like Mbombela, which is still within the country.
Yeah.
It's just one of those where you just realize where are the priorities of your organization. Yes. I mean, you've also listened to the pay disparity between the under-20 coach Raymond Mtaka and the national team coach Hugo Broos. Yes, Hugo Broos as a national team coach does there is in a position to be earning more money, but that pay disparity is absolutely flabbergasting. So these are the kind of way forwards that I think the Sports Portfolio Committee were unable to nail, where now we've got the under-17 and the under-20 teams going to the World Cup. Now, these are the things, because also remember that these are particular coaches who aren't hired on a full-time basis. When you juxtapose that with the South African rugby under-20, you look at the under-19, the cricket, they've got full-time staff members.
Yeah.
How is it that an under-20 or an under-17 team, which are key facets of the development of a national team going forward, don't have full-time coaching staff?
Such valid points. I know we got to get to rugby and just briefly chat as well about Banyana. But what do you make of the international friendly, obviously taking place at the Peter Mokaba Stadium tonight, and then the other upcoming COSAFA fixture, and then Mozambique international friendly also coming up?
Look, it's a good step. It's a good step. I did feel that with the COSAFA Cup in particular, it would have been a very good platform for the under-17s and under-20s to show their wares. I mean, there are some players in the COSAFA Cup team that I felt should have been in the national team, getting an opportunity there, because these two games do provide a particular opportunity for depth testing ahead of the African Cup of Nations later this year. South Africa still has 2 rounds of World Cup qualifiers to go. If they win the September rounds of those particular qualifiers and then qualify for the World Cup, which then leaves the remaining 2 qualifiers as friendlies. But also, you also need to look at what will happen then with the FIFA ruling regarding the Tebogo Mokoena issue. That'll probably also affect the makeup of the teams later on. Especially for the October round, for the October matches. But I would have felt that with the COSAFA Cup, and there was an opportunity missed to give the under-20s and under-17s a bit more international exposure. Especially when they still have World Cups that they need to participate in.
I hear you on that. Let's wrap up then with the URC semi-finals. The Bulls host the Sharks, obviously at Loftus Versfeld. I mean, some people are viewing it as a de facto Springbok trial. Your thoughts there?
No, it is. The Bulls will be fielding probably all the available Springboks. The Sharks will be fielding all their available Springboks. And probably it's the one game that Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus will be very happy about, in that his main players, probably not his main players per se, but a good 2/3 of his players will be tested in a high cauldron game. It's a 6:15 kickoff in the evening, so there won't be issues about heat, or there won't be issues about altitude. Look, and one needs to remember that the Sharks in particular will be very confident going into this game. They did the double over the Bulls. The Bulls will be very desperate to try to get into a third URC final that they can win. But also they'll be hinging on what happens in Dublin. They'll be hoping that Glasgow wins, because if Glasgow wins, then the final will take place in South Africa regardless of who wins.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for chatting to us. You always provide such awesome insights into South African sport. That was Khanyiso Tshwaku chatting to us about what's happening, what's coming up. A lot of fixtures on the go, particularly Bafana playing that international friendly against Tanzania. It takes place at 7:30 tonight at the Peter Mokaba Stadium.